Hey y'all, Lisa here from Family Foods and getting ready to throw together dinner for tonight. We just got back from the gym and I'm going to be making Jamie Oliver's stew recipe. I'm going to be doing the one for the beef and ale. I have some brisket that I'm going to be using, and I've made this several times and it's very, very good. So let me just here's what you need and the instructions if you want to make it his way, which comes out delicious on the stove. But I don't have 3 hours, so I'm going to be making a modified version in the Instant Pot, and I think it's going to come out just fine. So yeah, so that's the recipe, and over here I've got my ingredients. So what I did was I cut up the brisket, and for some reason this brisket was really fatty, like marbled fatty. I'm not sure why, what part of it was. This is my last one, but really fatty. So I turned off as much excess fat as I could, but I thought to kind of remove some of it, I went ahead and threw it in the Instant Pot for 15 minutes with some water, and I figured some of the fat would release into that liquid, and then it would just cut down on how much fat was going to be in the stew. So here's the beef stock, which I'm going to save. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and by tomorrow the fat will solidify and I'll take that off and I'll have a nice beef stock. So no need to throw that away, and I think it's still going to taste just as flavorful because 15 minutes is not really long. So I've got my meat here. I've got some onions, carrots, celery, and I threw in what I left of some radishes. That'll be fine in there. I've got a can of diced tomatoes. I've got some black and tan beer. The alcohol will all cook out of that. And I'm going to season with salt, pepper, and some bay leaves. So let me get all this. I'm just going to throw it all in the Instant Pot. It's going to be real simple here. All right, I just put everything in there. The beer is the liquid. I got the tomatoes with the tomato juice. And I probably put in like a half a teaspoon of finely ground sea salt and about a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. But, you know, I'll taste it when it's finished, because there's not really anything seasoned in here, so it's probably going to take a little more. But yeah, this is really good over the stove. I like cooking on the stove, especially in the wintertime with stews. It smells nice. I like stirring it. I like tasting as I go. But you know what? You can't beat the Instant Pot. I'm sorry. It just makes dinner so quick and easy. So I'm just going to lock that up. Make sure it's on seal. And there's nothing to it. It's on high pressure. So you just hit pressure cook, and I'm thinking I'm going to do 45 minutes. Yeah, because I cooked it 15 minutes already. So I'm thinking, you know, that thing said 3 hours if you were to cook it on the stove, and this usually takes about a third off the cooking. So since I did 15 already, I'll do 45 more. There's a fly in here. And yeah, and then we'll check it. 12 minutes left on the stew. So to go with the stew, now Jamie recommends a couple options. You can add a puff pastry lid to your stew. You could put some dumplings on it. You could, I guess, put some kind of sliced potato on top, or put some mashed potato on top. So here's the little 4 varieties, but I'm going to give you a 5th one. I am just going to serve them with a side of mashed potatoes. So I'm just doing instant because I'm just doing a quick, easy, simple meal, but use whatever recipe you want for mashed potatoes, however your family likes it. But I just eyeball the water, and I got some soy milk in there, some salt, and a little bit of butter. And when that comes to a boil, I'll add in the potatoes, whisk them in. It takes like 2 seconds. And until I have the consistency I like. And if I need more potatoes, I'll add some more liquid. And if I have too much liquid, I'll add more potatoes. That's the nice thing about the instant. So, yeah, I'll show you when the beef stew's done. And, of course, I'll show you everything all plated up. And the stew is done. 45 minutes is perfect. I just tasted a piece of meat. It just melts in your mouth. And I added just a little bit more salt. And what I'm going to do is, since, you know, when you cook it in the pressure cooker, it doesn't release any liquid. Nothing can evaporate. So what I'm going to do is to kind of thicken this up a bit. Well, Jamie puts a little bit of flour in there, but I'm not going to mess with the flour. I'm actually going to put this on the saute function And what that'll do is it'll allow it to kind of bubble up and reduce a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reduce it just a tiny bit. And then I think at the very end I'm going to add some peas to this just to bulk up the vegetables. So, but yeah, very simple, basic stew. This would be really good to put potatoes or sweet potatoes already in here. But yeah, I'll show you once this reduces a little bit. I'll probably, once it starts bubbling up, probably let it go for 5-10 minutes, whatever it takes just to kind of thicken it a touch. This is what it looks like on the saute function. It starts boiling away so you can reduce something. So this has been going for about 5 minutes, and I'm thinking I want to kind of make it a little gravier like. So what I'm going to do is I've got 1 tablespoon of arrowroot powder that I mix with 2 tablespoons of water, and I'm just going to add that to it and give that a stir. I'm going to cut this off, and that should actually give it a little kind of body to it, I'm hoping. I don't want to add too much. I don't want it to be so thick. I like kind of like a juice that you have for the mashed potatoes, or you can put this over rice too. So I'll see how that is. Maybe I might add a little bit more. I'll see. I've got some peas on the stove. I thought instead of adding them to the stew, I'm going to do them separate because my girls might be funny about the stew, and then I can give them some mashed potatoes. Got a big pot of mashed potatoes, some peas. They've already had a bunch of fruit and veggie, and I could pick out some meat or some other veggies. So I'll just add it separate. Here is the stew. So that little bit of arrowroot did thicken it up just enough. So I'm happy with that. And just ladle it over some mashed potatoes. And this for Jen and I got little salad greens I picked up today, some tomato and some avocado. I had an apple, so I have slightly less. And probably just put like a little oil, vinegar on the salad, or I actually have some ranch from the restaurant we went to. But yeah, we're gonna sit outside and we'll do a little taste test. All right, we are outside as usual. There's the kids. Say hi, girls. We're sitting down to have our stew. I love turning everything into kind of a nourishable. You see that? So where, half your plate is vegetables. That's how you eat more of the healthier things. So we just put a little ranch on there, but that brisket's really tender. The mashed potatoes, if I can get a bite here. How was it, babe?
Falls apart in your mouth. It's perfect.
How's the flavor? This is Jamie Oliver's recipe. I've made his stew recipe before, but usually on the stove. But
he does a nice job. It's good.
I didn't have a time. It's really simple. It's really simple, but that's what I like about Jamie. He's just rustic and simple. I always go with that sriracha. Perfect over some mashed potatoes. Yep. So there you go, guys. Jamie Oliver's beef and ale stew done in the Instant Pot. And yeah, if you like to make it on the stove, you can, or you can make it in the Instant Pot. But very, very tasty. So thanks so much for joining me. Remember, always eat happy foods. Remember, always make food with love. And I'll catch you real soon, my friend. Ciao.